Hello and welcome to Opening Bars. I guess some of you may be thinking, I don't understand why we are dedicating an entire episode to these opening bars. I mean, they are so ridiculously simple. Truth be told, there is a much deeper layer of musical meaning and subtlety that exists here, as you might imagine from someone as genius as Thom Yorke of Radiohead. This piece appears on the In Rainbows album of 2007, but Radiohead had workshopped the idea earlier, as those who may have heard the Bonnaroo Festival version will know. Yorke described the process of composing Videotape as absolute agony, stating that the song went through every possible parameter. One day, Yorke left the studio, returning to find that Godrich and Greenwood had stripped the song down to a minimal piano ballad. Thom Yorke was asked in a 2008 interview with the BBC what his favorite song on the In Rainbows album was, and he replied, "Videotape. Personally speaking, that's my favorite thing we've ever created, because it has this inexpressible substance thing going on behind the specifics of the song. So, I'm really, really proud of that." Let's take a look at this intriguing piece and see what makes it so special. Here you can see the treble and bass clefs for the right hand and left hand respectively. There are 4 sharps for an anticipated key signature of either A major or F sharp minor, and a time signature of 4/4. If you search for Videotape by Radiohead online, you will find a few variations. The Bonnaroo version, of course, from 2006, is very interesting indeed. And in Live from the Basement, there's a weird pseudo G B flat thing going on in like a bass drum that precedes the piano. And for a piece that's in A major, that's pretty cool. So, looking here, there are only 3 chords represented: an A major, C sharp minor, and E major. If we consider the initial chord as an indicator of the overall tonality, we can settle on A major, and if that's the case, the first bar can be labeled a 1 in uppercase. Moving to a small 3 as the relative minor, then to the dominant 5, cadencing perfectly back to the 1. For the most part, the uppermost notes in the right hand produce an A, G sharp, G sharp, F sharp, A, G sharp, G sharp, F sharp, descending motif that repeats throughout, over 2 different underlying tones, a C sharp and an E. So, in fact, there are only 2 patterns in the right hand. It's really quite hypnotic. What makes this particular excerpt so intriguing is the little hiccup you may notice at the very beginning. Listen to the audio sample here. Let's listen to that again. Do you hear the way Thom Yorke truncates the very first chord? So, what we have here then is a significant and sustained syncopation. Go back and listen to the Bonnaroo version, and you can hear it more clearly when the percussion comes in. But in the studio version, that has all been stripped away, but only sonically. It still lives within the musicians' heads. Now, this might seem purely academic, but try it for yourself. In a sense, what the performer hears and is experiencing is not what the audience may hear or perceive. Let's try a little experiment. Play this excerpt straight with a metronome, and once you're settled, syncopate. And if you can stay in the groove, let the metronome drop out and see if you can still feel the pulse. Let's do that now. Notice, no matter how hard you try, your brain really wants to shift the downbeat. Let's try the same thing again with a metronome on the eighth notes instead of the quarter. Let's see if that makes a difference. I personally feel that I could carry the syncopation better in the second version. You might also want to try and pedal right on every beat, almost creating a secondary percussion effect of your own. Try it slowly first, and then you can work your way up to speed before allowing your mind to focus on it to identify the actual downbeats. I can't really show you that here, but do try it on your own. If you want to play around with this idea some more, try playing the left hand notes directly on the beat and have your right hand precede it by an eighth of a beat. As you play, adjust the weights of each hand to see what your brain decides to focus on. Now that you know all of the notes, something you can do for your personal enrichment is to do some research of your own. Watch and listen to a variety of Radiohead performances, both live and in studio, and watch YouTube reviews which are documenting this phenomenon. I've placed some URLs in the description. Remember that it's not just your fingers making music, it's your mind first. Take the time to deepen your understanding and translation of musical purpose and meaning through extended study of the music at hand. I hope you enjoyed your lesson today. Remember, don't just play notes, make music. Until next time, thanks for listening.